So here we are on Inferno, the debut of SDY on NaVi, and Neo, Frag, Fiku, and Dagster playing for OG.
Coming hot off of a major semi-final. Into OG he goes. You know, 2 new players, a stand-in underneath the leadership of Nexa. Sumdai Young being IGL'd by Electronic. Full-time IGL Electronic now for NaVi. The winds of change. Double flashbang, frag, smoke. So good amounts of utility here for NaVi. We get the apartments crawl with 3. And it's just going to be that standard little A-pop. Molotov on Fiku, destined for the defense. Berettas, though, up close. Headshot immediately out of Electronic. He's not able to get that second. Flames with the entry. Trade back. Smoke goes down Moto side. That's going to deny Sumdai Young any sort of vision, but his teammate sure sees and shoots sharp. That's Dagster down. Flamesy barely hanging on as well, right? Low HP after that push through the apartments. They're already very much surrounded, so NaVi responding pretty quick and keeping 2 of OG's players locked into this bomb site. They're cowering, hiding behind boxes as they lose that anchor over towards the pit, and no answer seems to be coming out of OG. They'll take their bomb plant, they'll take their money, and that is the end of that. NaVi winning first pistol.
Yeah, great retake, man. They spread out very fast and took over the lane, and just as that important as that pit kill was for Flamesy from the halls, it was equally as important to have that nade received by him for NaVi as they were coming up lane. That's the most important part of the A site that they both managed to crack open. So at least for OG, they get the bomb down. That's a ton of money coming into round number 2. It'll affect the buy for NaVi as well, but always nice to start off on a round win, and that's NaVi right now, but looks like the mood is good. You know Abdul's always having fun. Flamesy said the communication's really good with him. He said his English is insane. Not just good English, insane English.
Insane.
Yeah. Let's see if he can talk crazy through this one. Well, actually, it doesn't affect the buy very much. This is interesting from NaVi. They're going into 4 MP9s. There's something of a risk involved with a buy like this. Look at the amount of AKs, just rifles here on OG. But it's paying off for the moment. Actually, okay, so we're talking about changing spots because SDY is coming onto the team. And he's playing Pit, actually. So Electronic will be moving over to B to play with Bit in place of Boomich. And that is already an interesting change. And I think on every map, there are spots that SDY got that he was used to, and there are some spots that he has been given and other players have moved around, both Bit and Electronic on different maps, I believe. So we'll get to see that all for the first time as well. And yeah, I think this is the first time in how many years that Electronic has not played Pit.
Speaking about good communication and Dagster, I mean, you know, Electronic is somebody who's always been touted by his teammates as having good comms. Whether or not those good comms are good enough to turn into an in-game leadership, just not somebody that I would have flagged as that IGL, but key piece. We'll get to see it, right? This is an interesting time for NaVi. Transitions being made and entries as well. Flames gets the headshot over towards Coffin, could open things up, but we got that boost from Bit. He falls down alive and kicking. Still hanging on to 20 HP. Simple one and done off the side of this. We've got a set of eyes focused towards Coffin. 7 seconds. The CT smoke fades, but the second CT starts to come around these corners. Dagster cutting down the first. Quick swap into the AK. Can't hang on. Electronic and Sumdai Young looking to pinch inside this site. Ooh, a little bit of patience there. Flamesy waiting for the peak, but he doesn't get it, and NaVi convert 2 alive.
Before it's too late, I think that that gun that got picked up blocked some of the bullets from Electronic coming out of Con. Yeah, I think it did catch them. That was interesting, but it didn't save his life. He still ended up dying. NaVi win the retake, and they did with 4 MP9s as well. So in this spot, they get the first oranges plant because Dagster takes his deep angle inside of construction. But when they lose him, that's all they've got. And Dagster didn't have much HP. So at the very least, he could lock down a plant. And because they lost enough players, they can't just pick up all of the AKs and Galil. So it does cost NaVi something, but they're perfectly happy to win in that fashion. OG will go on to round 3 with Eagles. So it was the piece of content we actually did at Blast London. I think it was with Boomich. We made like a Frankenstein player with all of, you know,
yeah.
the options.
Yeah.
And that's when he said that Electronic, I asked who has the best comms on NaVi, and he said Electronic, the best communication. And he said it with a lot of conviction. I mean, he feel like he really meant it there. And since then, there was actually a point in time where they had something of an IGL crisis, and they didn't know who was going to pick up the calling. And I think Electronic started calling on Mirage and maybe a select couple of maps. So these are two good early signs for him. And I think it really means something that there's a player on your team that wants to call, because it is the least fun job, and it's also the hardest. Besides king crab fishing.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
That's true. So I've heard. Couple pieces of utility chucked back and forth. NeoFrag and Fiku. Very fun to see, you know, guys who have lackluster amounts, tier 1 CS experience, just kind of getting that quick jump into an event like this, right? OG qualifying for spring finals. It's one of those things where it's kind of no pressure because you are new to the game. Not the game, but these types of events. Your reward, you get top 4. We're talking a packed stadium, you know, another skyrocketing young roster, but such a time to prove themselves. And right now it's NEXA. Quick headshot from him. NeoFrag, no answer. Bomb just fizzles out, folks. They walk this into the bomb site with not enough time. They even get their kills, but you give yourself 5 extra seconds. You're talking 2 versus 2 with picked up weapons. Instead, nothing.
Yeah. Ooh, a little awkward. Wait, so there are 2 guns in the site that they grabbed, right?
Yep.
At least? Okay. At least. Hey, Montu. Hope you're feeling better, man.
I don't know. He's looking a little flat.
Yeah. Man, well, OG playing with... It's one new player for this event, and, you know, not having your star opera is one thing, but then 2 players who you barely have any experience with who are coming on. So this is IGL Challenge Impossible level here for NEXA.
Ooh, nice and easy. Bit clean as hell with the M4, and yeah, he gets back as well. Not an issue. The flashbangs there just giving him that little bit of timing he needed to get away safely. NEXA trying to chase, but everything's already gone. They've conceded this banana control, sat back on site 2 players, even opened up Electronic to move over towards A.
This round is halfway over. I mean, they can go full passive if they'd like to. The walk-up is coming, and we've seen so much love for OG towards the B site. Bit's crack spotting his teammates at quad, so he doesn't have to worry about him that much if there's a timing. They'll still both be aware of it. Nexa's made some progress. And getting further than this is going to be hard. They're relying on NeoFrag at this point, but the rotations can come slowly, and he can be cleared, but he gets the headshot.
Clean first one, clean second. Gets that deep peek, guns for the third, does a ton of damage, but Simple still stands. Perfecto still waits. Locked into new box. The Molotov arrives. He gets flushed out by the fire. And we're to the 2v2 with 30 seconds left. Sumdai Young gonna come sprinting over while Simple just buys time and waits. Question will be, does NEXA try to take this fight before? But no, he just locks it into coffins. Simple starting to look a little bit deeper. Dexter backs up into his own death. 13 HP. Health advantage here for NEXA. Simple tries to clear it, and we've got OG on the board.
That was a very tough spot that NeoFrag was in, and I honestly didn't like how quiet it was when he was waiting for the rotations. And they obviously still came in and hard cleared him, but not only did he hit the first shot, he got another kill and then did half the life of Simple, who could have won that 1v1. So an enormous round from NeoFrag. Again, as they were kind of painted into a corner in this position, Bit was thinking this trade is for free and I need to grab it. And they come through with every little bit of utility in the end and win. So really well done here, in particular from NeoFrag. Just like that, they've siphoned the money out of NaVi. It's funny how this smoke has become like the old way of smoking mid, so you can be pretty nervous about any kind of boost. Everyone beginning to smoke deep these days. I think They might have a read on the money just because of how little pressure is coming down, but they have heard 1 M4. And once again with the bomb, leaning towards the B site. Feels like they're making their intentions known, but at the same time, they're scouring halls, holding for the mid push. Playing off the clock. No stack for NaVi whatsoever. But look at the amount of smokes left over, actually. This is a problem for OG. They're at 40 seconds, and they're starting to lean B. They don't have simple on any utility. They're trying to go back to the A site. They think it's too late to do this. So this might work out pretty well. Bit comes back over, but he's got no utility on him.
Simple eats that flash hard. Simple goes down. Dexter finds it through the smoke. Made easy. Here's the Deagle rattling off, sends one back the other direction. So Dexter, 6-4 is his start so far. And that's kind of one of those win conditions, I think, right? If OG are going to show up with a stand-in, Dexter, again, major semifinalist. Major semifinalist. And touted by Flames as somebody who is absolutely owning at the moment. So transitions it into the official.
Yeah, he said they've been playing Face It for 3 days, and he hasn't got less than 35 kills.
Now, could Flames be lying?
I know he lies all the time. I can tell.
Yeah, you can see it in his
That's
eyes.
why he's such a tricky player. But what's also interesting to counter that on the other team, SDY did an interview with NaVi where they just kind of asked about his whole life story, really. And he said that he's been playing Counter-Strike since he was 3 years old, which is already nuts. And then, apparently, he's won both a Counter-Strike and a Dota LAN before he was young enough to remember. At 6 years old. He said that his parents told him that.
Well, you know, your parents also lie to you.
I guess, you know.
Oh, it's hot. But Electronic gets past. Now, he's made a ruckus. Flame's going to be on high alert. With support just next to him. Still a little bit of damage comes out. 3/4 the HP here for Flames. Molly into the apartments.
If your parents ever told you that Santa was real, then...
Oh, dude. Whoa. Shh.
They're proven liars.
The kids are watching. Prius is observing this game. He hears everything you're saying.
He's in tears right now.
Don't break it to him. CT's definitely just giving a bit of space here to OG. Not trying to come in with anything too crazy. Really felt like the life got sucked out of this one the moment Electronic dies in apps. Lean towards the A stack. Hope this smoke gets respected. Instead, B site's about to get excavated. They're going through all the motions as well.
Oh, wait a second. Whoa, with no utility coming back, they're actually running back into the A stack, thinking we can only go B that many times. NaVi are 1 step ahead.
Oh, the call is good. How about the headshots?
15 seconds.
You gotta get the headshots. And there's nobody else to support now. Moto Smoke's still down. SDY from the corner. Bomb gets dropped. 8 seconds. 2 CTs make it just simple. He gets spotted and shaved off the side of the pillar. So even as they go back to where the problems were, they solve them.
Dexter does these big catapult slaps, which...
Yeah, lots of momentum.
Lots of momentum. Plus, you know, Abdul is strong. So I feel like this could numb out your hand. And Flamesy is kind of frail, right? So this would be... I think this could do some long-term damage. Look at this.
Yeah.
Wow. The power right there. Flamesy is holding it in. That was fine.
They're only 6 rounds deep. A potential 3-map series. Some more limitations here for NaVi. Double MP9. FAMAS, Electronic on an AUG. Keep your eyes open for that. Neo frag looking for the quick kill.
Oh, wasn't spotted.
Dexter trying to hone in on it. Frag grenade comes out. Limited bits of utility here for NaVi. Still hanging on to the 2 smoke single flash. But anything that could tenderize OG before they make a play, gone.
Their money has been pretty terrible, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So with the amount of utility left, their best case right now is smoke and stack. They will leave a gaping hole here in the archway. It'll be smoked off. We haven't seen OG use arch too much, so this might be the right way to stack. This does mean there's an enormous timing in CT as they leave this open. Of course, Electronic in the mini pit watching for the arch wrap. The T's haven't decided where they want to go just yet. It feels like they're picking somewhat blindly, as NaVi are just not giving them anyone to look at. And now as they walk it back over, NaVi have once again kind of stacked up in the right spot. This time they've got better guns. Oh man, that is such a late smoke. 20 seconds. This is time trouble for sure.
Playing a dangerous game, OG, but they made this bet. Now Bit puts one to rest. Nexa, Fiku, there's the answer. And Perfecto just needs to lock into the coffin. 7 seconds. Stop another player, he's good. But nobody picked up that bomb. It's going to come down to the very finest of margins. And he's got it. That's nasty. Two players pushed past the bomb carrier trying to clear out coffins. He had to vault back over the half wall to get that plant by the skin of their teeth. I almost feel, no bias, OG deserved to be punished for that.
I mean, they ran it so late, and they once again get smoked. A lot of these have come down to the final seconds, and if Perfecto gets one kill, it is just finished. With the bomb left in pool, they were clutching their pearls, so they'll be very happy to get that bomb down. I mean, they even saved 3 players in this situation coming through the smoke. I feel like Bit could have easily got 2 with that MP9 after he got his first kill, but OG don't have to think about that. They can move forward. I mean, their expectations are going to be somewhat limited for themselves too. Like, let's just see how well we can do. Being able to get through a T side is already impressive. And I think, as SDY said, they've got a good veto here for NaVi. They should feel comfortable. We get another half investment, and I feel like NaVi have not been doing great on the calculator this game. Just looking back on some of the buys they put together, I think they'll be fine here. Creeping up on max loss.
Take a calculus class or something.
Yeah, bust out the Texas Instruments.
Ooh. Bit tries to come around that corner. Face full of lead from Nexa. Double nades to the sandbag, so a couple protocols here. And there it is, Electronic. In with the AUG. Opera tried to go for that CT peek. Weapon gets controlled. Neo back onto the AK. It's as if never died.
Did they just double smoke? Yeah, they double smoke B. That's a huge mistake. You know, this is the thing is that, like, in a situation like this, if you double smoke B by accident, if you're OG, this could feel like a mind game because of the amount of times that you've ended on this side of the map. It really comes down to if they want to read into it too much. But one thing is for sure, that's one less smoke guaranteed on the map overall. That could have been used later. That could have been for a cheat rotation A. And in this spot, it looks like OG will actually read this correctly. There's one in Arch. Of course, it's one of the better guns in SDY. Not too much action for him. Here's a first kill.
The first one come out.
Won't be any supporting flash from this position, so he's kind of trapped.
Yeah, he can feel it. Oh, almost times it while one of the 2 Ts looks away. Simple in the pit. Desperate for Perfecto to rotate through that library. He holds off, eats the flash, and they get into that bomb site. He knows there's one above him, sees him, and stops him on the fall down. Fiku's out of this. Nexa, hands were busy, but NeoFrag gives a nice little shoulder to lean on, pops the noggins of 2, and pushes Electronic into the clutch. Now he walks through, picks up a flash, and is found the moment he emerges. It is a 5-3 lead for OG.
I think despite the time trouble that we've seen, the entries have been so precise that they haven't actually had many issues. A couple of these kills have come from NeoFrag. Oh, that was a cool way to find that kill. Boost back in CT spawn over on B.
A little short clear. Could have been a moment where NeoFrag gets punished, but no, he was fast with it. Glance.
Happy to be here.
That high five is going to kill someone.
It's going to hurt. You know, I've seen hands fall asleep for less. it feels like the first goodbye in years. OG have won 5 straight. And even though I say goodbye, I mean, we are still limited in terms of resource utility here. So bottom me control at least. No smokes left on that side of the map. And they're playing to spot right now, but they don't have an op on B, so they'll also fall back quite easily. And actually, the tempo is pretty good here from OG. Like, if they come back window flash, they can get this jump spot back. And if they can get simple to leave arch, they might come back and hit A. We'll see where they commit. They're taking a little bit too long to do this. Okay, well, finally pop that and start running, it looks like. Yeah.
More and more util starts to come out of NaVi. Another incendiary. That time the smoke misses the mark. Ooh, we get a little play on the side of it from Perfecto. Simple draws him in, but he loses each of his teammates. They could still get away with this. There's a wrap coming in from construction. No, Neofrag actually just stops on the tree. Simple, peeks out, stops bomb. Finally, it is going to get stopped. You know, this is a moment where the banana player has to go back and double check. Neofrag tries to lock in, where we've seen him do good things from here. But with nobody watching the bomb plant, Simple is still alive. And you thought, well, Simple loses the CT player, loses the guy over on pillar. Pretty easy to keep eyes on him, but...
Yeah, that was the one position they had to cover. They did kill both in sight. This is actually, again, fantastic entries, this time from Fico. They're kind of taking turns getting entries on either site. But that's a spot right there around the 45-second mark where, you know, they're at the bottom of banana. I mean, if there was some kind of risky aggression taken by NaVi, they would have just got stopped right there. And they know they could get bit back. But they've basically had to run the entire way. Whoa. Dexter knocks off some kneecaps, but they eat a nade and some molly damage in response. That was a very nice exchange for NaVi so far. Looks like a accidental late car molly as they peek behind it. Next has got to stay sharp. Can't have too many rounds like that happening. Again, you know, hard to organize with new players.
Without losing some of the procedures. I feel like they got away with it a couple of times already, and then the most recent round is one where it's just...
Funny thing is, that most of those rounds, they still won narrowly, and they had, like, multiple alive. So the money's not that bad.
Nope.
But okay, finally some action back towards the A site.
After a few reminders, maybe just keep it a bit quicker, right? I feel like that extra 10 seconds of sitting bottom mid last round, you know, those are those moments where skip that, make a difference. Individually, OG looking good. SDY around the side of the balcony, finds the first one on Flame. Simple hits his shot. That's a distraction served up for Electronic, and this is a spectacular hold. Everything that they need to go well does so. Early damage as well from the util is going to keep Dexter away. Quick scope, very nice. It's at least one casualty the side of NaVi, but it is a tie game again. 5 rounds each, and an op to be held onto here. Nobody going to hunt down Dexter, so they tried to go and start that process of hitting the A site, and they just get smacked back by the brick wall that is Sumdae Young from Valk.
Yeah, we're lacking a couple of flashes in this position, and Sumdae Young was able to push out in the halls. They didn't have any site smoke, no moto smoke coming down either, so this is a farm between all the players who are able to coordinate too easily here. So not much resistance. And now we can see why OG have loved ending B so many times. That was way too easy for NaVi, but they test SDY passes right there off the pit. Tied game now. And dare I say it, the healthiest buy for NaVi in this time.
Bit tries to jump up. He gets caught out by Nexa.
Can't do it like Boomich.
Oh, but he can't escape the fire. Neofrag still burned out. Thought he could leap over it, but dive bombs into the bed of coals. Scorched.
feel like Hall's pops have been an opportunity this game. They've been playing pretty standard spots on the A site. And either, you know, pit or on balcony, but no aggressive Halls plays. So they did any kind of fake pressure on B and tried to waterfall. I think there might be some rounds there, but I mean, they haven't looked into Halls that often, so I'm not sure they have that info. And oof, now they'll be a bit nervous. They hear the flash into mid. Nobody is spotted. NaVi still have to be worried about Hall, so they can't actually just completely rotate over. But maybe Electronic can cheat. Looks like not. It'll just come down to these two.
He was thinking about it for a second. Now the util comes in. A little bit of a timing loss. Simple misses a shot, doesn't get a second chance, and there's no 2K here from Perfecto, so just that one off oranges. Man advantage, bomb plant, tough spot, and because Electronic was still so far away, there's no retake potential on this one. Simple had a chance, missed the shot, and with it, OG just slide right in.
Yeah, they didn't really have that many options if Simple missed, and you should, right? You should have something more, but he didn't have a smoke for himself versus an execute. They lost top banana, and there was plenty of time this time around for OG to get away with that exec and make it look very legitimate. So right here, there's a chance, but he moves from a spot where he wants to be on quad. First shot gets dropped, and yeah, it can come down to the side hold. Perfecto gets one, but I mean, I don't think either of them had counter utility in this position, so I think they really needed that CT flash to come through to assist in a second peek. Not surprised that he dies after missing that opportunity. And OG pull ahead again. You know, certainly doesn't feel like they're in pristine form. Otherwise, they probably would have won a few more of these rounds. But again, you got to appreciate the entries from OG. They've looked very sharp.
NeoFrag always doing a good job of finding at least one towards banana. Another international Counter-Strike roster showing us a little bit of good form, man.
Yeah, over on OG, they're kind of the Moneyball lineup. I mean, even though the interview recently they were saying that they basically got niko and NeoFrag and Fiku because it was affordable. That's pretty much what was mentioned, and they have always kind of done that. They've always tried to pick up a player who is next up and try to make the most of it. I mean, there has to be orgs that are willing to take those kinds of risks, and players like NeoFrag have been they've been grinding for this view for a long time.
Electronic, ooh, not too far off. Oh, but the phase from Nexa, just that little bit sharper. Simple again to be tested. We've got Bit wrapping around Arch and just holding the CT spawn side of it. And some Die Young just outside of the balcony. Minute mark gets the util out.
They actually spotted him trying to get space back there. So they can leave now knowing that the CT option was shut down. Maybe they don't have protocols to fall back onto. This lack of proactivity here from NaVi so far this half is catching up to them. A lot of opportunities have been missed. And now worse than ever, they're 4v5.
Nice camera angles, boys. 3 in a row into number 4 with the 2 CTs on site. Ooh, nade. Hits the back end of it. Perfect from
right on the
Perfecto.
Oh.
Gonna take a bit of utility, a little bit of wind out of the sails of OG. They stutter step for the CT cross. Perfecto burned out from the corner, and it's gonna fall onto Bit. He's got 2 with their heads turned. And the player back, Banana and Dexter, no. Siphoned away. As the bomb carriers were still thinking there's gotta be somebody on site, but they were far more concerned with the players, or the possibility of the players behind Newbox, behind Dark.
Yeah.
And instead, you know, the smoke fades in that instant just before they turn their attention back, and with it, it's NaVi to put up a 6th.
Yeah, and this was opening kill for Nexa early in the round. But look at this utility, right? Right on the flasher. who's trying to help him scale. That's going to rock your attack. I mean, you're now thinking about what positions are not going to be blind. What do we have to worry about? And it's the second time so far in a rifle round this half where the Coffins player stops the plant and there's not enough time to put the bomb down again.
Ooh, hello. CTs are home. Little
Wow.
double peek into the apartment, something right out of the spawn, straight off the bat, and sure enough, NaVi 5v4.
Yeah, they kind of had the same idea there. Actually, makes sense for Flames. You want to speed up in positions you know that your opponent's not taking control of over and over again. Because why lose that time for no reason? But NaVi, for once, they go with the Astralis Hall setup. Get that first pick. We're in the final 3 rounds of the first half. And the money is finally starting to get tested here for OG. Just a deagle on Nexa. There is a gun, retrievable inside of the halls. But they've got their head halfway through this B door right now. Oh. Punished for the crack spot.
Up close? No. Tries for the quick scope. Bit's got a bit of ambiguity. Could be on the other side of this in the little pit. Could have wrapped around Coffins as he has. And that flashbang almost set up Bit perfectly. He's not able to get the headshot onto Nexa, so instead he tucks into the new box. 35 seconds, electronics on the cross. Guns dry. Empty weapon costs him. Bit responds from the short peek, flash in front, and he actually kills Nexa with that nade. That is crazy. Goes bowling off of the back wall. And Fiku can't find anything further as all of the smokes had faded. The cross is being locked in by the op, and we've got NaVi back to winning ways at the end of this CT side.
You know how that's ironically an argument for the A1S? Because if he had the A1S, he would have had to reload already.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what we learned. Unfortunate for Electronic.
Oh!
It was a great shot, though, from
That's
Nexa.
nice.
But you got to appreciate Bit, what he does here. For him, it's all about priorities. Like, he knows he's good enough to shoot anybody 50-50. But instead of taking that duel, spamming down the opper, he makes sure he prioritizes getting the quad first. Delays from there, gets his utility out, and then fights.
Gonna have a few players run right through. Good control for the headshot onto Neofrag. Perfecto's just back behind him. They got bombed, stranded in the open. And I'm sorry to break it to you, Dexter. It is a matter of time. Down he goes. The hands of Electronic. So 8 for NaVi, 1 left in this half, and the CT side starting to vaporize OG. 16 and 10 is Bit at the moment. So that is the absolute standout performance that has got NaVi back on track.
You know, in 2022, we're like, you know, has Bit just won too much? Is he starting to cool off a bit? And then the major rolled around, and Bit was the least culpable player for their losses. He was the most impressive, I think, player on the whole roster throughout that entire major run. I think he was pulled a 1.20 plus rating across the major, 12 maps or so. You know, he's clearly still hungry and definitely doing his part to be consistent as he needs to. Obviously, they look a little slow, but still, 8 rounds on the comeback. I think any worse teams would get tilted with the way that OG have won. And we'll end it on strong buy versus strong buy.
A little bit more apartments aggression. Not something we saw at NaVi for the entire half, but, you know, sprinkling it in towards the end here. They don't see anything as we get the creep and crawl from OG just, 10 seconds later. Now Sumdai Young's going to be positioned closer to it all. Standing on the Raptor. Oh, what? Excuse you, Flames and Electronic down to Neofrag. So they get the entries they need from the apartments. Perfecto's smoked out of the equation for the time being, but it is still, calm from OG. There's no panic. Bomb only getting into the site now. Smoking off one of the T's down mid could open up an attack from lane already. How about apartments, though? We've got a player still up there. That's Dexter, waiting for his chance to strike, as is Nexa. He's got backs turned to him. Simple, cautious of exactly this. Dexter kills Bit. Simple still able to answer with the deagle. And unfortunately for Perfecto, he has been smoked off since the dawn of time. Finally, he gets a chance to go towards that site, but it's
sure.
OG.
That was, I mean, yeah.
I didn't even tell you what it was out of. It was out of 100.
Oh, I thought it was out of 12. That was pretty solid overall. I mean, they sounded very clear. I'll say that much.
Yep.
What do you think? What did you think about it?
I thought it was good.
Okay.
I thought it was good. Didn't seem too hectic.
Yeah.
And, you know, a little bit of dead comment coming in from Dexter, but he
So
apologized after.
So we both like it? That's Rotten Tomatoes 100%.
I enjoyed it indeed.
Okay.
Wonder how comms are going over in the NaVi camp.
Well, they're not playing their best so far, but that was good enough to still win the half versus OG. Both teams slow start. I think what we'll see as the series progresses and as the days progresses, obviously there'll be a lot of rust kind of shed very fast. I will assume. So okay. Intention was to hit the B site. Hate to see a smoke when you want to do that. But it is just a pistol round, not the scariest thing in the world.
Well, bank flash there. Flames set up real nice. Comes back with a second kill, but loses Neo frag inside of it all. So good thing for Flames to have already gotten 2. Keeps man advantage up for OG. And NaVi planting bombs with time to spare.
Oh, they have no kit. Did Neofrag have it?
No, we would see the silhouette, and I don't. So I'm going to assume there is none. And instead, they're going to have to get this one going right about now. Bit of chip damage over towards Fiku, draws Bit into it, and he ducks back so that he can turn his attention, get a frag, and set up Perfecto to just close down on the last 2 Ts that are left. They're trying to push out from the coffin, and they'll find no footing in this retake. So, you know, Flames, he tries to set them up with those first 2 kills. Nothing thereafter, barring an exit frag. It's NaVi with second pistol.
Yeah, and Utility was gone before that retake happened. I'm not sure if they had anything or if Nexa had dropped P250s, but that would have been necessary.
So that jumping headshot from the 15th round.
Gracious. And we saw the Hunter running a ramp shot to CT spawn.
Right? Like this one would blow us away a bit more if it wasn't for Hunter.
That's true.
And that was a classic caster's curse because Anders said all he has to do on ticket is survive.
Yeah.
All he has to do is survive. Run by
AK
headshot.
Cursed his own Danish brother.
Can't trust Anders. Took me a few years to figure that out.
We talked about who we'd want to send to space if it would be any CSGO talent. Anders was the first unanimous call. Not to get rid of him, because he'd probably be the most interesting person to be on
I
Mars.
think it's just if he ran into aliens, he's the most likely to be able to communicate with them.
Right.
Dexter communicating to SDY that there's no space for you in round 17. Nexa finds the Deagle headshot. Oh, this is not going well. That's Dexter's assist. Deagles finish up 2 frags. Neo frag goes down towards the B side. It's bitten Perfecto in a 2 versus 5 turn 4. And a deep CT spawn smoke that gives Bit enough comfort to go for this plant. What's been picked up? Galil for Nexa. Maybe some utility.
Well, Bit has to fight his way through this. 2 players coming down. First one dies, but second one spotted, and he gets the molly off and gets away.
Oh, finds another fight. Loses that one. Perfecto. Oh, he gets both. That longer range Mac 10. Fiku offers up half of his HP, pushing through fire. And Perfecto, off of that first tap, goes for the jump spot.
And there's no kit here available.
No siree. So Fiku, unfortunately, loses out on the time. And the 2v5 comes through from NaVi to save the day, but it costs them a lot. Only one Galil moves forward.
They needed to swing harder on Bit right there with the 2 players who are coming up banana, right? The first one dies. Second one can't let him escape. He gets his molly off, gets back into the site, and does damage to CT spawn, which leads to Perfecto getting all the final kills right here, right? This is the first player who dies off of Bit's assist, and Dexter only has a scout, so he needed to hit that shot. Couldn't do it. And Bit fills the kill feed, steals the shine, buys NaVi a lifeline. I think one thing that was definitely missing from OG was not just that they did some slow rounds, it's they just never had any fast rounds. And I expect that to be different. We can already see NaVi here. Look at the pace right now. They're not waiting to see if there are smokes left over for OG on the save. But they've taken over Arch, so they might end up following Simple in some weird world. I'm not exactly sure. There are situations where you get too much information, too much space, and make the wrong decision, but Simple going to take out one of the rotators towards B.
Little coffin jiggle, but drawn towards the gun. Like, oh, Flames.
Honestly, he's kind of wants to leave.
SDY inside of construction. He goes down as well. Another clutch needed out of NaVi. Smoke fades, so Electronic doesn't really feel comfortable enough to plant, but all that does is gives Degster a better chance, because now he comes up banana. Electronic's gonna get chipped down ever so slightly. Now he's still got time, 30 seconds, and he figures out that banana peek before it happens. This time he commits. Ooh, and he gets what he needs, dude. That fadeaway.
No way.
It's like that bullet traveled slowly.
You see SDY's face. Jeez. Did Nexa try to disengage?
Yeah.
Yeah. If he just committed, he had the right play right there. Got Electronic off the bomb. I mean, should have abused that animation, lasting as long as it did. Trades were insane here for OG on these past 2 rounds. They get 2v5 and 1v2'd, 1v3'd here by Electronic. It's it's a little ropey, but it's ultimately NaVi winning again. So they have kept the money insanely honest. It's kind of psychological. The fact that they lose rounds they know they could have won. That's the part that sucks. But ooh, well, I was gonna say at least they had an op. Oh,
Okay.
Somebody's a little angry.
Yeah, he's powering up. Gets turned back by Nexa. Double kill.
Damn.
Electronic's not going to let it go for free, so keeps the edge the way of NaVi. And this T-side targeting the B site time and time again. Fiku.
Yo, they got shooters.
Yeah.
OG definitely showing that they're a very hard team to trade, even though a little bit rough. Getting everyone coordinated at the same time. Oh, didn't line up that nade properly, but it wouldn't have been a kill anyway. Fiku's the one who's low.
Pushing the issue here. Fiku can't believe in this one too much. Not on 19 health. Not without a kit. He concedes it. Crossback from mid clears him. So 2 survive for NaVi. Simple has shown up. Those 2 kills are very clean and very quick and get them right into that B hit.
Man, he played this like Niko, right? With the way that he peeks. So first rifle frag into the second, and he knows that Degster has the op, so he feels a lot better about going even farther out. And it's one of the few multi-kills I feel like we've seen in this match coming out of NaVi, just straight up on an entry. And OG have done such a good job of killing players. We have 4 saved in the last 3 rounds for NaVi. So they actually can op again. Not that they would, but not much money left over.
Not going to let off this pressure either, at least not for Banana, but they eat a nade.
Yeah, nice catch setup there with the double nades.
Last time we saw a scout and pistols, well, only 1 player survived for NaVi, so these rounds have been consistent, but they haven't been clean. Rather quite costly.
I really like NaVi making an outpost out of the top of B setup as soon as possible when they find out OG aren't playing there, whether it's right like an investment or not. In this situation, they get naded back, but look at the amount of pressure they put down, right? One problem we saw from OG was they were not baiting out that B smoke as many times as they could in the early round. In this situation for NaVi, it's a minute up, and they've already baited all the utility out of OG on this force up. It's like, wait the smoke out, and not only that, but they don't have to go B, because now there's more incentive for OG to stack this site. It looks like they'll find Arch open again. And we are kind of just in time for a CT split. You need a few extra seconds to pull that off, but they're making pace.
There they go, pushing past the smoke.
But they are running into 3.
Yep. Neo frag, he'll be the one to try and cut off the CT wraparound. Right on the doorway. They lose Degster towards Coffin. Neo frag's dead. Third man in is Nexa. And Electronics got the quick answer. So suddenly this B site is empty. It was stacked once upon a time, but they cut through this one very easily, and they're going to convert finally. You know, this is kind of like the easiest round so far from NaVi in terms of anti-eco.
Yeah, and looked very good. I mean, all the pressure they put on while keeping people alive. They took some damage, but that's about it. SDY goes down, but a worthwhile sacrifice for keeping 4 left alive. Bomb plant. And NaVi's T side looks good. And it's, again, we're seeing the debut of Electronic as the full-time caller for the team. So we're learning a lot about it. And on CT side, honestly, I don't think he inspired a lot of confidence. They didn't look like they were taking as much space as they should have. Of course, you know, he was normally playing pit on CT side, which actually means that he's doing the least amount of proactive stuff, whereas Boomich was playing on banana. I mean, he was one of the most aggressive pieces on the map, if not the most aggressive for NaVi. So that's an ostensible change. And of course, there's always going to be room to grow. But at the same time, on CT side, a lot of the times you're calling for the map, but you're also only calling for your site, right? I mean, if you have B players, you might call some setup out of spawn, but ultimately they're going to coordinate when they get there. You're not controlling them in that sense. Whereas on T side, it can be much more of a pack and calling for the 3 you're with or organizing what site you're going to end at. It's not such the case over on CT side. We've actually got a tack called here for OG. A second, I think it's right in time. 13-7. This is about one of the last chances for OG to get an op onto Dexter. I don't think he's even shot the op this game, or this side, because Simple headshotted him with an AK that previous round. But they're looking to stop 5 straight here, as NaVi are on fire.
If we go back to that first half too, right? Expand the picture. It's 10 of the last 12 all the way of NaVi.
Wow. And it feels like it.
The last one is nice and clean and easy. We got weapons up here for OG off of the tac pause as well, right? So if there's ever going to be the turning point, should be here and now. Nexa tries to throw himself in the fight. He's got the support from NeoFrag, so that draws Perfecto in and gives OG a ticket to man advantage. How quick is the answer? How quick is the response? And how quickly do NaVi just want to shift into this A hit? If that is the end goal. Oh, they walk into Dexter, posted, perched upon that balcony.
Wow.
And a quick reposition as well. I like that. Flash comes around the side of the arch smoke, and Flames brings Bit with him. Simple, quick trade, keeps it 2v4, but not the ideal situation here for NaVi. They have no opening in either direction, and this one's just kind of fizzled out.
Yeah, but I mean, it's 2v4 with a minute. That's bad, but it is still potentially winnable. They're playing 2-2 to sites right now. Simple's the one who's low, so this will be a real test for SDY to display what kind of mid-round he can put together. However, Dexter is waiting. Oh my god. And now what it is, one player isolated in the pit.
Oh, Fiku, you got to deliver, bud. 60 health to do it. Eats a flash.
He might have shown himself.
They're getting closer and closer, and he still hasn't seen anything. Simple, yeah, he backs up right into Simple, and Simple's not going to miss that, even with 11 HP. We've got a 2v2 post plan. Here's a chance for Sumdai Young to really show us what he's got. You know, this is a player who played for Spirit for years. Kind of disappeared after a while. He was like their vet. Gets the call up to NaVi, playing alongside Simple, who could still offer us all the impact he needs to, even with 11 health. But our eyes have to fall on Sumdai Young. Powerful position next to Graveyard. Flash goes into the backside. Simple will kill NeoFrag, and they each deliver a kill, just squeezing that A site long enough, getting the pit player out, and piecing together an excellent 2v4.
That was like a message to OG. That's why you use the time to create opportunities like this, right? With a full minute, they could walk into this position. SDY got a very hard kill onto Dexter, who's a little too tight on the angle. They flashed Fiku at the perfect time. Simple creeped out of the halls. Fiku was more worried about them playing it together, and they organized a very difficult mid-round. With the new player in SDY, that's going to feel very good for him. And now he's probably got Simple on his side. Like, hey, I told you about this kid. That was very impressive. 2-1 in rounds, and OG have no money. And yeah, that might be the last time Dexter sees an op this game.
Feathers and bones. Still the best voice line in all of CSGO. So what once felt like a competitive affair, had a slow start, has very much transitioned into a beating. But here comes 3 CTs, ready to push around Banana. They want that fight, they get the fight. Bit gives it to him. 2 kills to his name. NeoFrag tries to come in a little bit later. Simple's got the cover. You know, that quick little burst of whatever OG wanted to offer us. And it falls quite flat. Dexter, M4, other side of the map. It's Flames chilling in the fountain.
Yeah. Between 2 Flames. Man, they didn't see anybody they killed this round except for Flamesy here.
So
The Coffin's flash was perfect. They couldn't have been better timed.
no luck on that one for Flames.
And they won't risk it.
You ever
Yep.
you ever just walk by fountains and scoop out all the quarters?
No. Because
Yes and no.
that would be stealing children's dreams.
Hey, they can buy more.
They can buy more, okay.
Blind as all hell, but still just feeling it. And he's got him. You know, you got to be on the edge of your seat. You got to be tense if you want to win.
I almost break my mouse with every flick. It's because I'm playing to win.
And Dexter.
Lonely life up in the treehouse here for Dexter.
Yeah, you know, is how it is. No teas allowed.
Well, this was an 8-7 half. It was a lead in the beginning for OG. It was a competitive game at first, but now it feels like a totally different NaVi. Didn't expect him to play better on T side, but hey, we know they're also capable of it. Just didn't look too good at first, and everything is just now in order. They're all fine. Everyone is positive on the server on that side of things. I thought CT side was going to be kind to OG. I'm not kidding here, but it's not to say those rounds would come for free.
Needs find Nexa. Woo. Yep. Utility just perfect. And suddenly NeoFrag finds himself alone for a moment. Flame's going to try to run through CT spawn. Perfecto trying to push in. But there's no rush. Down to 51 HP thanks to that. Frag goes for the peek. It's actually NeoFrag to find it, but then they catch Dexter playing around with grenades. He's got a player right with him in Fiku, who's going to shut down only the first one here. Last 2 counter-terrorists going to need to scramble back into this A side as NaVi play a game of tug of war with the CT's bodies. Ripping them limb from limb. As Simple rests comfortably on the arch. Smoke goes down onto Moto. And now OG, unfortunately, it's a waiting game, but they try to turn away, and Simple, he strikes them in that moment. Young Flames, no clutch. It is Simple and NaVi with the flawless T side.